you begin to meditate, and then very soon you start spiraling into thought loops, overthinking. If that happens to you, please understand that it's a part of the process. It it just is a part of the path that we need to walk on as we're learning how to meditate. There are two big hurdles in the meditation journey: an overactive mind and an underactive mind. So an overactive mind, overthinking would be a part of an overactive mind, and laziness, sleepiness, drowsiness would be a part of an underactive mind. So what do you do if you have an overactive mind that continues to overthink? First and foremost, understanding that that is the nature of your current mind. The way your mind currently is, its nature is to overthink, probably because this mind has been trained, most likely not consciously, right? But this mind has been trained, and the purpose of the mind is to ensure that you live, that the living being continues to live. And so, this mind, because of whatever experiences that you've had growing up through this life, maybe through various lifetimes, this mind needed to figure out how to continue survival. And for that, it probably needed to be very alert. It probably needed to figure out, make sense of things very fast. It probably needed to think 10 steps ahead. And so it got into the pattern of thinking, overthinking, right? So first and foremost, understand that that's just how this mind is right now, and the mind has done its best. So removing judgment and having grace. Having grace, in fact, even gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for doing whatever you've been doing, thinking that this is the best. Okay? So grace for yourself, grace for your mind. Now, when you're in the meditation practice, and the moment you realize that your mind has started, that you have started to overthink, let me actually rephrase that your mind has started its overthinking patterns and you have become one with your mind. That's what happens. Okay. Now, the mind can keep doing its stuff. That's not the issue. The issue is when the mind is doing its stuff and I think I am this mind. I am every thought that it thinks. That is when the problem happens. So, when you start integrating with the overthinking mind, the moment you realize that you have done that, coming back to your anchor object. What's an anchor object? Anchor object is basically something that the moment you realize you've strayed away, you can come back to. A common anchor object is the breath. And so you can be observing your breath here, between the under the nostrils, above the upper lip in this area, or you can be observing your breath in the belly area, or you can just sort of observe the heart chakra or this area here. So you can choose any one object of anchor. And if your breath is the object of anchor, again, choose one place in the body that you'll come back to every time that you realize you've gone into the dance with your mind. So that's the first thing you do. The moment I realize that I have gone away into overthinking, I pause, maybe I smile, moment of sort of grace for what has just happened, and then come back to my anchor object, come back to my breathing. Just all of my observation on my breathing, on my breathing, on my breathing. Yeah. So that's one way to work with the overthinking mind. There's another practice, some may call it the clouds in the sky. So what you can do in this practice is kind of like how you would sit in a movie hall and watch the movie. So similarly, you can just imagine yourself sitting, not just imagine, you are sitting, and allow the mind to project all of its thinking loops, patterns, whatever it is showing to you. Allow it to project it on as if a blue sky. And in this blue sky, everything that the mind is projecting it's coming in the shape of clouds. And just like in a sky, clouds come, pass, come, at times stay for some time, then pass. Come, stay, pass, come, stay, pass, come, pass, whatever. Different clouds will act in different ways. And so, similarly, different thoughts act in different ways. And so, in this practice, I sit and I watch, allow my mind to project clouds, cloud-like thoughts in the blue sky. Okay. And I am as if I'm in a movie hall and I'm watching this movie, these clouds on this beautiful blue sky. And I just keep doing that. Now, even when I'm doing this, there will be times I'll get pulled. In fact, many of the times you will get pulled into the cloud, into the thought. Again, what do? The moment you realize that you've gotten pulled in, breath, smile, grace, come back to your anchor object. There will be times that you'll get pulled away for a few seconds, for a few minutes. There will be times you'll get pulled away for the entire practice, even if you're sitting with yourself for an hour. And that's okay. Okay. Again, it's a part of the journey. The third thing that you can do, if there's just too much overactivity, there's anxious, nervous energy, there's restlessness, then actually stop meditating in that moment. Get up and do some body movement. So you can do shakes, you can actually go for a run, some exercise. Just let that excess energy out of your physical body and then come back and sit and again try with these few tips that I've shared. Okay. Now, if you have any other questions around how do you work with overthinking, or if there's a specific thing that happens for you, let me know in the comments below. If there are other questions, let me know in the comments below. This playlist, though, should have answered a lot of these questions.